Hi, I'm Liz, CEO and founder of Worth It, which is a social enterprise that specialises in using positive psychology coaching to help prevent mental health problems in young people. My work has become increasingly more about improving the relationships and interactions that young people can have through using coaching as really the method to help them develop the relationship skills and interpersonal skills and thinking skills to be able to navigate and access support and resources and friendships and positive relationships. And within the field of positive psychology, there's a major strand of research around positive relationships. So what I want to talk about today is loneliness in young people, which is a big worry and concern of mine and is a contributory factor to the epidemic increase of mental health problems that we're experiencing in young people. I've come across a study from Cambridge University that was published last year in November 2024, which talks about how actually the increase of anxiety issues that we're experiencing young people. So they're looking at different causes of mental health problems for young people, and actually how loneliness and isolation leads to anxiety for young people, but then the experience of being online a lot actually contributes to increased anxiety. So although we think social contact online is going to help a young person, if they're isolated, if they feel lonely, social interactions actually make that anxiety level higher because it's heightening a lot of threat response. So let me have a look at the study and tell you the main findings. Loneliness can have a profound impact on young people, often fueling anxiety in unexpected ways. When isolated, they may experience heightened feelings of vulnerability, leading to constant overthinking and worrying about their social worth or future. This isolation can erode their self-esteem, making them question their abilities or whether they are truly valued by others. Without regular social interactions, young people also miss out on emotional support and reassurance that close relationships provide, leading them to feel adrift and overwhelmed. Strengthening social connections by fostering inclusive, supportive environments may play a critical role in reducing anxiety and caused by loneliness, empowering young individuals to feel more secure and confident. So research reveals that time spent alone can heighten teenagers' sense of threat even during online interactions. So it's that experience of perceived threat, that loneliness can heighten that. So too much time alone can heighten young people's ability to perceive threat even if they're interacting online, which is, I think, contributing to this emotionally based school avoidance and persistent absence issue that we've got, because our young people are then not engaging in peer relationships at school, then they are isolated at home, so they're interacting more online, which is then increasing their threat response, which is then increasing to their anxiety levels, which is then contributing to them not being able to go into school. It's like this vicious cycle. So this heightened alertness stems from their intense emotional responses and developing social awareness, making them more sensitive to perceived dangers in solitude. Interestingly, while online platforms often serve as a refuge for social connection, they don't entirely mitigate this threat alert response. Instead, being alone, even when engaging online, can amplify feelings of vulnerability. These feelings underscore the importance of fostering healthy social connections and balancing screen time with face-to-face interactions to support teenagers' social well-being. What is really worrying is that part of adolescence, a key developmental stage in adolescence, is that we need to be with our friends more than we need to be with adults. Young people develop so many skills through that developmental stage of peer, detaching from the adult and engaging with the peers, and that's a key stage that all young people need to go through. Adolescent animals, we're all animals, humans are mammals. Adolescent animals tend to be roaming around at night in packs with their friends, and that's what teenagers should be doing. And society has made it so that we're very fearful of letting our adolescent young people go out and about with their friends, because there's a lot of risks that we think that they might get into. They also are used to interacting online, and then lockdown and that 2 years where a lot of young people were not developing the skills to have positive relationships because of lockdown has just compounded that, and they haven't got the skills. They've missed a massive stage where they developed interpersonal skills and relationship skills and communication skills and understanding and reading body language. And I was working with a group of young people the other week on one of our wellbeing ambassador programs, and we were talking about, the different ways you communicate and the communication pie chart, which we often use in our programs. And so only 7% of communication is words, but 100% of their communication is words on a screen or photos. They don't phone each other and have chats. They don't develop that skill of communication or to hear in people's tone of voice or their pace they're saying things or their pitch, to really understand the communication that's not just the words on the screen. And it's so easy to get the wrong end of the stick when you're reading a message or reading a text. So and if all young people's communicating is through that, and they're feeling worried and they feel like they're getting isolated and they feel missing out on things, then they've got this heightened sense of anxiety all the time. So and it's just got this compounding effect. It's very scary. It really worries me. So I think we have to intentionally support young people to develop communication skills and relationship skills. And I believe that coaching interventions are the best way to do that, because coaching interventions are short-term interventions where a young person firstly experiences a positive relationship, either with a supported, trusted adult, or you can do peer coaching interventions. I'll come on to those in a moment. So they're experiencing a supported, trusted relationship where they feel listened to and heard. They are able to ask questions. They are able to reflect on the questions that they are being asked to help them develop the resources and strategies and skills within themselves. But they're also being modelled a positive relationship. They can feel what that positive relationship feels like. They can build honesty and trust and empathy and connection. And loneliness really is a feeling of a lack of deep connection and the inability to be able to form those deep connections with people. So we need to be able to help young people to feel safe to build deep connections, and they need skills to be able to do that. And the first skill that they need to be able to do that is self-awareness, to know how they feel about things, and then the communication skills to be able to express themselves and their wants and needs and be their authentic selves and feel safe to be themselves and feel accepted to be themselves. So all of that can be developed through a coaching process where young people are taught and experience and practice specific skills and strategies that help them to be better communicators and build better connections and be more self-aware and understand their feelings and understand their reactions, so that they can then build better connections with people. So it's a short-term intervention. They might do it for a few weeks to work on a specific skill set, and this can then help be preventing their loneliness, or it can help them re-engage in school, or it can help reduce EBSA, or it can help reduce persistent absence, or it can help them figure out friendship falling out issues or relationship issues at home. So it can help them understand themselves better and how to express themselves better, and use strategies and skills within themselves that help build their confidence. And in building their confidence, they can then feel more themselves, and they can have better relationships. So can you see how it spirals up to positive change? So one way of doing that is by an adult training to be a coach, to coach young people that they support and work with. So we do that through our coach training programs, and also young people using coaching skills with each other. So through our Wellbeing Ambassadors program, which is a peer-led wellbeing intervention for young people, they learn how to use coaching skills, very light coaching skills, communication skills, effective listening, reducing barriers to access to support, reducing stigma around asking for support for mental health, sharing wellbeing strategies, normalising stress and issues that might make young people feel very conscious and worried. So it's a really targeted early intervention programme where we're looking at increasing positive relationships as a mechanism to protect against the onset of mental health problems. And one of the outcomes of that is it can prevent loneliness, because loneliness can cause anxiety, and then anxiety can be made worse by loneliness. So it's like this mess of stuff that's going on at the moment for young people, and we need to be finding more solutions to help them understand themselves and use resources within themselves to help their well-being. So in 2015 actually, our work was used in the Coming Out from the Cold report, which was a report on interventions that support and prevent loneliness in inner city. Now, we aren't based in an inner city, we were based in a coal mining area in Leicestershire called Coalville. However, the people that put together that report did find it really hard to find interventions that actually specifically support loneliness, and they identified our programme and our intervention, which was actually a group coaching programme at the time, and they use that in the Coming Out of the Cold report, and that is what they feel like the coaching approach was helping the young people develop the skills and relationships to feel better about themselves and build better connections and reduce loneliness. So I feel that this is a very underserved area of mental health support and prevention for young people, but absolutely key to tackling this problem. A lot of the interventions focus on maybe the cognitive skills or the practical calming strategies or reducing, anxiety triggers and things like that, but not actually looking at how the positive relationships and connections protect against the onset of mental health problems or can promote healing and growth through that developmental stage where young people need to have friends and positive relationships. So if you're interested in finding out more about our work, make sure you sign up for our free Introduction to Coaching Young People course. If you want to learn how to coach young people, train to be a coach with Worth It. It's an accredited coach training program. There'll be links in the box below. And if you want to train young people up to use a peer coaching approach, well, it's not purely peer coaching, it's peer coaching like elements of coaching skills in a peer-to-peer coaching program, sign up for our Wellbeing Ambassadors cheat sheet or webinar where you can be introduced to coaching, where you'll be introduced to the Wellbeing Ambassadors program, so you can find out more about that. And I'll be back soon. So if you like this video, make sure you subscribe because we've got lots of exciting new content coming, and I've been doing a series of shorts. So this is going to be one of my less off the cuff videos, as we're going to be doing a lot more exciting stuff in the coming months, so keep an eye on our channel. I'll see you again soon.